Now I'd like to introduce tonight's Master of Ceremonies. Jeffrey Gorian is a man of many talents and a great-hearted dear friend of mine. He has generously donated his time tonight to this noble cause. Jeffrey is a comedy writer, comic author, producer, and director who has written for stars like Rodney Dangerfield, I get no respect, Joan Rivers, George Wallace, Richard Belzer, Phil Hartman, Gilbert Gottfried, and many more. His new book, Make 'Em Laugh, with Chris Rock, features interviews from some of the biggest stars in comedy, including Jerry Seinfeld, Billy Crystal, Louis Black, Susie Essman, Colin Quinn, Lisa Lampanelli, and Ray Romano. He's the host of his own internet TV channel, Comedy Matters TV, where he has over 200 interviews with A-list celebs like Jimmy Fallon, Chelsea Handler, Jon Stewart, Bob Saget, Jack Black, and about 190 more. He's written for many Friars Roast and is a frequent guest on radio and TV, where he was recently featured on Comedy Central's hot new show, Kroll Show, with star Nick Kroll and John Mulaney from Saturday Night Live. Please help me give a warm-hearted welcome to Jeffrey.
Wow. Wow, what an introduction. Couldn't have written it better myself. How about a hand for those two ladies, for Cheryl and Tina? You know what, give yourselves a hand for coming out tonight, come on, because unbelievable. You are the most important people here. We tried this once without an audience. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. We even had a name for it. I think we called it a rehearsal. That's what it was. Horrible, absolutely horrible. Well, good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you, as you already have been, to the Roaring Twenties Gala Auction and Benefit, honoring the 22nd anniversary of the Professional Performing Arts School, a New York public school with the heart and soul of a private school. And you're truly a great audience. I think with a little hard work, you could probably become a well-known audience. Be fantastic. And as a matter of fact, when I came in, you all looked so familiar. I thought I knew you from somewhere, then I realized you just reminded me of an audience I had met at another event. Anyway, I hope you all had a lot of drinks and spent a lot more than you expected to at the silent auction, because all the proceeds go to benefit the kids at PPAS, the Professional Performing Arts School. Now, this is a very exciting evening for me, and a big change, because just last week, I hosted an event for the UPAS, the Unprofessional Performing Arts School. And as you might have guessed, it was very unprofessional. This event, on the other hand, is really quite professional. So it's very fitting that the school is named that way. And looking out on this crowd is quite a treat. So many beautiful women. Unfortunately, many of them are still in high school. So I'm trying my best not to look. Because who needs that aggravation? But personally, I feel a strong kinship to professional children. I feel like I've been a professional child for most of my life. And if you don't believe me, you can ask my ex-wife. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to verify that fact for you. Well, it's the 22nd anniversary, and we're celebrating it on the 22nd day of the month. And 22 is a very powerful number. It also happens to be my lucky number. I have no idea where I'm going with that. I just thought I'd share it with you. But every year that we celebrate here, every year is a different theme. This year we're celebrating the Roaring Twenties, which is a very strange time to celebrate, because it was the time of Prohibition, followed immediately by the Great Depression. Whoopee! What a time to celebrate. Who wouldn't want to reminisce about a time when alcohol was illegal and the country was in the midst of the Great Depression? Fantastic choice for a celebration. Everyone knows if you can't have a few drinks, you're going to get really depressed. So in honor of the Roaring Twenties, we will have a bar, but it won't have any alcohol. And we've arranged to have real gangsters smuggling in alcohol And some of you will have to be arrested. But don't worry, it's all for a good cause. Now, this event was completely coordinated by parent and faculty volunteers. And I think now might be a good time for me to thank a couple of those people. Cheryl and Tina already did thank some of them, but I want to give a special thank you to Cheryl and Tina, who are co-chairing for the second year in a row. So let's hear it for Cheryl and Tina Borges. Tina Borges-Druth, who just recently won an award for having the most unusual name combination in New York State. Now, Cheryl is the proud mom of 8th grader Jillian Lieberman, who will be a musical theater major next year. And Tina's the proud mom of 7th grader Aaliyah and 9th grader Alec, who's a drama major. Right, you can clap for that, that's cool. And he will be coaching his little sister for several months this year on how to properly pronounce their last name. And while I'm thanking people, I'd also like to give a sincere thank you to J.B. Barraclough and his wife Nancy, who worked tirelessly to make this event the success that it is. J.B. was the production manager, and Nancy was the assistant stage manager and volunteer coordinator. And if it wasn't for Tina Borges-Druth, Barraclough would definitely be in the running for the most unusual name in New York State. So let's hear it for them once more. Come on. I have to tell you, honestly, it feels great to be back on stage again because I had retired from performing for a while. I went back to my original job, writing suicide notes for depressed people with writer's block. Yeah, then lately when I get bored, and you should try this because it's a lot of fun, I've been going into Chinese restaurants. I asked for the manager, and I complained that my fortune didn't come true. And that goes over really big, about as well as it did with you people. I'm almost sorry to see so many people here tonight, even though it's such a great event. I was kind of hoping for a smaller crowd. I like working small crowds. Basically, I like working one-on-one. I like entertaining one person at a time, which I'm afraid is what I'm doing right now. If that person would be kind enough to identify themselves, I would be very grateful. The truth is, I like working small crowds because my agent books me in small rooms. The last gig he got me was the coat room at the Four Seasons. The coat room. In the summer. During a heat wave. It was a very small crowd. I'm just kidding, I don't have an agent. I got the coat room on my own. No, I do have an agent, and he gets me the weirdest gigs. Like, you know how some comics work these huge cruise ships? My agent booked me on a rowboat in Central Park. Just my luck, I did so well, I got a standing ovation, almost drowned. Next year I'll be working a kayak. If that works out, I'll be entertaining one guy standing alone next to a puddle. Well, that's how my career is going. But I did get some good news recently. I just found out I'm starring in a new poem. Very exciting. I got the lead in a new poem. I'm in every single stanza. You had to go to school to get that joke. No, the truth is I am very excited because I just took the plunge into real estate. I bought a men's room in Pennsylvania. And I know what you're thinking, owning a men's room sounds exciting. And it is, but I tell you what I don't like about it. I hate when guys come in and ask if they can use my restaurant. I'm like, look, pal, I'm running a men's room here. You can't just come in here to use the restaurant. Have a little courtesy. Didn't you see the sign? It clearly says restaurant for patrons of the men's room only. I got another sign that says please wash hands before using the men's room. Well, I don't want anyone going in there with food on their hands. It's a brand new men's room. Anyway, I don't know about you, but a lot of weird things happened to me. Like just last week, this girl broke up with me. I wasn't even dating her. This strange girl walked up to me in the street. She's like, I'm sorry, but it's not working out. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't even know me. She said, that's the problem. You don't open up. You don't communicate. See, the problem with me is I'm too sensitive. I get attached to people too easily. Like I met this gorgeous girl in a dream one night, and now I really miss her. And I can't even call her. It was my dream, and I was too nervous to ask her for a number. Can you believe that? It's terrible to be so insecure. Truthfully, really. I am so insecure that in my sexual fantasies, another guy gets the girl. It's horrible. This one girl once told me I was like an animal in bed, but it wasn't a hip animal. It was like a ferret or something. It's not a good self-esteem thing at all. Well, on that note, I think we're ready to start this event tonight. Thank you. I do have more jokes, but you'd only laugh.